This video will show you how to use the electronic version of the Enrollment and Change of Status form. To get to the file, what I like to do is once I log in to my Office 365, I'll click on my application button up here at the top and select the OneDrive, which is this here. Over here on the left hand side, there is a group called College Staff, so I click on it. And currently there's just two files that are being shared within the college staff group. And the very first one is the Enrollment Change of Status form. So I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to click on the download button. Now, you can open it within the browser, but the issue is that there are times when you are filling it out and you're ready to print it out, it goes on to multiple pages, and I don't know the reason behind that. So the best method is to download it. And when you do, and you open it, it'll look like this. You may have this yellow bar that appears. If so, just click on the Enable Editing. And then you're ready to start filling out the form. So for example, I'll start off with putting in the date, and then occasionally on some of these cells that you click on, there'll be little message boxes pop up automatically. So for example, the student ID, you don't need to type in the ST, you just need to worry about the 6-digit number. And then the date of birth, it tells you how to type it in. And then the phone number. You just have to worry about their 10-digit number. And it will format it for you. Then you will put in the student name. And then the student email address. And their address, and then there'll be drop-down menus. So for example, have they attended before? You can select yes or no. Is this their graduating semester? They completed their FAFSA, or in other words, their financial aid. Now, before you start selecting courses, it's really important to select your site that you're working with. So, for example, if the student wants to take classes here on campus, you want to make sure that you select Lexington. If they are going to be strictly taking nothing but online courses, you'll want to select online. If they are going to be at some point doing a mixture of courses, then I suggest you just select the Lexington, because the Lexington site will also bring up the online courses as well. And again, it is a drop-down box, so I'll select Lexington. And then I'll come to my term. I will select a term. You may want to give it just a few seconds, and the course numbers will be ready. And for some reason, beyond my control, it likes to start about towards the end instead of at the very top. So you just find the course that they want to get enrolled in. So let's just say, for example, they want to get into SCI 101. So I'll select the course, and the rest of the information is automatically filled in. That's due to these other tabs that you'll see in the worksheet. So it automatically fills it in, fills in the credit hour, how much the tuition rate should be. And then since this is a course with a lab, it will also show up down here at the bottom on what day of the week their lab is and at what time and what room. And so then I can just go through here, and let's say they do want to take an online course as well. And again, same way, it starts at the very bottom. And since they're financial aid, we got to make sure that they are a full-time student. So there's 12 hours. So it automatically calculates the tuition for you. If there needs to be a technology fee added on, it will add on any lab fees for you. And then if there's any online fees, then it'll add it all up for you. And then depending upon how the student is going to be paying, for example this one, the student is going to be using financial aid. So here I'll come down to method of payment, and I will select financial aid. Now let's just say, for example, that they didn't complete their financial aid and they have no intentions of doing financial aid, but they're going to pay for it themselves. You can select self-pay. It'll ask what type of payment they'll be making. So if they're going to be doing a check, money order, credit card, or cash. So if they do cash, then that's all what you have to do for that. If you do check, then you just want to put in the check number. And if they do credit card, I would not put in their credit card number. If anything, just not their full credit card number, but maybe just the last 4 digits on the credit card. For then that way there's a record of a payment being made. And that's it for this particular part of the enrollment process. Now, something I would recommend that you would do is that since we are going to be assigned students to work with, it'd be best to save the document. And again, I will most likely have it set up to where I have a particular folder to put all of these in. But I would do something, putting in the student's name and then saving it. Because the reason behind that is let's say, for example, the student wants to drop out of a course or to add another course on. So that means that we would have to fill out the change of status form. Well, if we come back, open up our file, we can click on our change of status tab down here at the bottom, and the majority of the information is already filled out. So the only thing new that would have to do is put in the date of the transaction. And then again, you'll have some questions to answer, so like current classes. So if they want to drop a course, you select drop. If they need to be withdrawn for a course, you'll click withdraw. If the class is canceled, you click class cancel. And if for some reason they want to just add a course, then you just select no change. And then yes for the adding, and refund request. Remember, so in this case we're just adding a course, so there is no refund, so I'll select none. So down at the bottom, I come down here just like I did on the enrollment registration part. My term will show up because Lexington has already been selected. So I'll select the term and then the course that the student wants to get enrolled in. And it'll automatically fill in. Now let's say, for example, the student does want to drop out of a course. So I'll select drop. Still want to add. And this time I'm going to do a 100%. Because technically the way it works is that Carol needs to drop them out and then reapplies the refund to the added class. So this part here on the drop section, this is only going to pick out the courses that they originally enrolled in. So you first, even though it's built the same way as the added classes, you don't start with the term. This time you start with the course number. And these are the 5 classes that the student has selected. So let's just say that they want to drop out of this one. And then you're done. That's the enrollment registration form, and that's our change of status form. The rest of the tabs you do not have to click on. There's nothing important there for you to deal with or mess with. So next, after you are doing the enrollment or change of status, you need to get the student's signature. To do that, you'll go to File, and I click on Export, because what we need to do is create a PDF file. So I'm going to click on this button here that says Create PDF/XPS. And again, I'll have a special folder set up to where all my students' work is going into that one particular folder. For right now, I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to click on Publish. Now here comes the final part. We need to go back into our browser, and you're going to go to a site called Sign Request. Up here along the top, you can type in this web address, wmacollege.signrequest.com, and it will take you to this page. It may ask you to log in with your credentials. If you haven't set that up yet, please do so. And then to get a document signed by an individual, first we click on Add Document to Sign, and I will click Choose File to upload. And after a quick pause in the recording, I found my file, and I'm going to click on Open. And then I will put in the student's email address. In this case, I am just going to use another user. If I click on the Advance, it can give me the ordering of assigning. So, for example, I'm listed first, so I want to make sure I do signature, authorization for Carrie Myers, pretending she's the student. I can have it to set up to where it's signature, so it will automatically email to her once we're done. There is an option, and that's something to look into further down the road, where it's sign now in person. So in other words, if we had a tablet or phone handy with us, we can just hand it over to the student across the desk, and they can just sign it there instead of it having to go into their email. And then I can write up a message. But the one thing that I want to do is I want to set up the document. So at the very bottom, I'm going to click on Prepare Document. And again, those advanced options I showed earlier, they're on this same screen. I'm going to scroll all the way down the bottom because this is the part that I want to deal with. I need to put in a field for the student signature and a signature area for me, and then of course the dates. So I'm going to click right above the student signature, and when you click anywhere in the document, you're going to have these tools appear. So the first one is for the signature. The second one is for the calendar. This is a text box, so if you needed to type in some additional text. This is a check mark, so if there's a field that needs to be checked by an individual student, there certainly can do that. And then there's the trash, so in case you didn't mean to click there. But I want to put in my signature, so I'm going to click on the pencil. I'm going to select who needs to sign, which is going to be Carrie Myers. So I click the Save, and then I can readjust this. If I want to make the signature block a little bit bigger, I can certainly do that as well. I'll come over here to the other end, and I'm going to put in the date. Again, it's Carrie Myers, and I'm going to make it a required field, for then that way the student has to click on it and put in the date. So click Save, Once again, I can adjust the size of it if I want to. And then I'll click down here on the college side and click that and select myself. Click Save. Once again, if I want to, I can readjust the signature block, and I want to put in the date. And I'll make it a requirement for me to put in the date as well. So once I've done that, I can put in a nice little message here. Granted, it's when we're sending it to our students, it will put something a little nicer in there. You can also have it set up to send automatic reminders. So for example, each day it will send out a reminder to the student to sign the document. So then that way it's not one of those things where it's like, okay, you send it out and then you forget it or the student forgets to sign it. They'll get notified every day until they actually sign their document. There's also options here to where you can add attachments to the email. So in case there's additional information you wanted to send out to the student for some reason that was not in the form that they're signing. Once you're done, you can click the sign and send. So then once you click that, it'll automatically have it set up to where you have to sign it. So you just scroll down to the bottom. You got these arrows telling you exactly what you need to do. So you click on the box. Now I've already used the system before, so I've saved my signature before. But if for first time, you'll have the option to either draw your signature out. So if you want to get handy with the mouse and write your signature out, you are more than welcome to do so. Not bad. Or the other option is that you type in your name and it will come up with a style for you. If you don't like that particular font style, you can click change font and just flip through all the different options. There's also an upload, so if you've already saved your signature as an image and that's the one you want to use, you can upload it and use it. But I like my hand drawing that I did earlier because I don't think I can ever do it that well again. So I'm going to select it, click Save and Insert, and then I'm going to also put in the date. Then the last thing, my little arrow is telling me right up here is that I need to finalize it. So I'm going to click on Finalize. Then it wants me to confirm. It's like yes, so sign. And then you'll get this message up on top. You will receive an email with the signed document and signing log after all parties have signed. So now I have to wait on my student, Carrie, to sign the form. I already know that Carrie has signed it because I paused this recording and asked her to sign it. So there's two ways that I can do this. I will get an email notification letting me know when she has signed the document. So I can go to my email and look at it. Or I can go to my document and I can find the signed document right here. So then I can download the document, or I can just open up the document, or I can download the signing log. And then just to prove that, the student did sign it, I'm just going to click on Open. Opens up within the browser here. And then right down here, there is Mrs. Meyer's signature. I'll just click on the cancel button. Oops. And then I will go back into the document. And then I'm ready to download the document, for which then I can print off the copies that I need. Again, I would save it into the folder that I'm going to be saving all these files to. The one thing extra that I'm going to do on the file name is put in the date of when it was signed. That way I just know if I have to go back and look at the form, it's right there, even though I'm going to be printing it off and putting it in the student file folder. Then I can open it up, and here it is as a completed PDF file. And then I can click on my print button, print off the number of copies I need. So 1 copy for us, for the student file, 1 for Carol. In this case, the student is not using financial aid, so we do not need to print off another copy. But if the student is using financial aid, then we have to print off a 3rd copy. I know it says 2 sheets on it, so I don't see the 2nd sheet, but I'm just going to play safe and just put it on 2 sides and click print. Or the other thing you could do is come down here, select just the 1 page, and then I'll click print. I know this video is kind of long and there's lots of steps involved, so hopefully we will learn this together, and hopefully this video will become a good learning tool for you all. Thanks.